And we are Kassandra. We come to this day in love and in light and in truth. We understand that this is acceptable. We asked our daughter this morning to do this short recording, to speak with you, to add to something that we communicated to you last night. We communicated about many various things. We repeated ourselves a number of times so that your consciousness would lay it within its foundation. So for some it can be irritating to hear something over and over, but now you will not forget. When the time is right, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind will trigger it to the conscious because you heard it so many times. And you will remember. And when you remember, you will feel safe. You will feel calm. But we wanted to speak to you about something else. When we said to you that you are part of the universe, that the entire universe, all the species within this universe, have gathered together to support planet Earth and its solar system and all of their inhabitants. So we're not just communicating about what's happening for you upon Earth, but also within your solar system. There is a group of beings that were far out on the edge, the very edge of the universe, that didn't, for a very long time, have a lot of interaction with the rest of the universe. This community of planets, of systems, kept itself, not separate, but kept itself, if you like, sacred. Its job was to hold the light. So its physical reality is that of 13th dimension. As we have said to you before, the highest physical dimension is, of course, on Andromeda, which is the 12th. That is moving to 13th. All of the planets within this part of the universe are moving up. It's also as a part of planet Earth. It's all oneness, if you like. One moves, the other one moves. So you all help each other. This group of beings decided, because of the threat of a nuclear situation, not only for the Earth itself, but for its solar system, because of that threat, which would create tremendous issues within the entire universe. Tremendous issues. So because of that, they have chosen to step forward, to step out of their, let's say, solace, out of their silence, to come forward and to work with the Light Alliance, or the Intergalactics. Now, the Intergalactics are made up of various different nations, and some of those nations have, well, perhaps not been completely integral with their interaction with the Galactic Federation. Perhaps they've been a little infiltrated, so some have been released of their command. And this group, there are several names for it, but there are only two groups that have come through from that area of the universe to assist. What they work with, what they are masters of, let's say, is frequency, vibration. They're masters of frequency. What is the biggest issue that you have on the planet at this moment? Well, within the solar system, but we'll just refer to it as the planet, is frequency. the frequency of your phones, electronics, etc. The frequency and the information being spread within that frequency is extremely damaging. The frequency in which you are vibrating at, due to all the chemicals that surround you and have already gained access to you in various different levels. So they have come to assist with the frequency traumas, the frequency damage, the frequency of nuclear. It's a frequency. So we will tell you this. They are communicating only at this moment, only with our daughter and 2 other people. Why are they only communicating with them? Because many who are, let's say, speaking on behalf of the intergalactics are wanting fame, wanting fortune, doing it for different reasons, and are not always giving the entire message. So they are not coming from their heart, they're coming from their mind. So the mind wants to do good. We're not saying they're bad people. The mind wants to do good. The mind wants to help the planet, but the mind also wants to ensure that they have enough, that they earn enough, that they are loved enough, praised enough, recognized enough. The 3 individuals that they connected with to give this message and to support these 3 individuals in their work are those that come only from the heart. So whilst it is okay for them to garner a living, they have to, like everyone, pay the bills. We hear many of you say, but Spirit, you don't understand. We have to make a living. We have to pay the bills. We have to have a car. We have to, pay for electricity. We actually do understand this. Everything is an exchange. So they are entitled to do that, but it's not their motivation, is what we are saying. It's a byproduct of what they do. Whereas there are many, many others that it is their motivation. And not only that, they will also harness the energy of certain beings and put their name to it. So you hear those that give their last name, their surname, to the being that they are speaking on behalf of. Well, we don't really understand the motivation for that, but what we are saying is it's not really in harmony with the being. And we don't know who is communicating through them. So these beings have, as we said, stepped forward to these 3 individuals. And we're going to give you the names of these beings because they are a group. It's a bit like, you have the Palladians, you have the Sirians, you have the Lyrians, you have the Orion, you have the Andromedans. You have in your system, you have many that work together. This is the same thing. So here you have the Hanani and the Harrari. So they are working together with the Light Alliance. We're using the word Light Alliance because that would also mean they are working with not just starseeds, but interdimensionals, the angelic realms, the whole thing. It's not just the intergalactics. We are not negating the intergalactics. They are the warriors. They are the healers. They are moving this forward. But what we are saying is that there are many incarnated on planet Earth that, because of the nature of the education system and the community system, they are using their platform as a motivation for fame, for, that comes first before the message. So they're not all like that. There are those that put the message first before the fame. And you can figure that out. We're not saying that these three are the only three. What we're saying is for the moment, they are the only three that these beings have communicated to and are working with. And it's all to do with assisting the vibrational frequencies of not only you as individuals, but also the entire solar system. So preventing the carnage from any nuclear, preventing the carnage from technology, preventing and healing this carnage, because some's already been done, we have to say. It's not like it hasn't been done, it has. You have children addicted to this technology that scream and have physical detox reality from it. So there is definitely carnage there. And these beings have said, enough, we're coming out of our seclusion. You see, normally what happens is you would, as a race, you would, if an area of your galaxy or your sort of area got into trouble, another planet system, you would travel there and help them. These beings do not do that. They would allow, let's say, the Palladians to go to them, or the Andromedans to go to them under certain circumstances. They allow them to go to them. They would vet them absolutely to ensure that whatever information and technology that they are giving is being given to someone who will use it for the good of all and not for the good of themselves. So their motivation isn't fame or financial gains. Yes, there is finances throughout the universe. Otherwise, there would not be a slave trade or anything else like that. So, and it happens throughout the universe. So yes, there is finances, perhaps not the same, but very similar to the principle that you have on Earth. So they would then go to their community and learn from them. But first, they would have to spend a period of time being vetted, being assured, tested. You know, when we say to you, you have initiations. And the initiations do not come from another living being. They come from those that wish to work you from beyond what you call the veil. And you are tested. You are given an initiation. And if you pass the initiation, you're granted access. If you don't pass the initiation, you're not granted access. That's why we are saying a lot of these people who are communicating, we don't know who they're communicating to. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good. So take what you can from it. But the Hanani and the Harrari are here to help with the vibrational situation. And the reason that we're telling you this is to assure you that there was a shift. And you would have felt it. They connected, they first connected around January, but they were tentative. So they very gently, because those within the alliance would bow to them in the sense of, oh my goodness, they were just so fortunate to have them here. So they needed to integrate themselves to a point where they are acknowledged as colleagues and not as those that are going to do everything for everyone and save everyone. In that sense. Well, actually, that's not really how the alliance, most of the alliance felt. But it's very easy for members of the alliance to relax a little bit, and think, well, they've got it. We don't need to do so much. And so this group needed to know that the alliance was going to continue to giving 100% of what it needed. So there was a period of integration. So it's been in the last couple of months that they have stepped up and started to communicate with these three people. And these three people are bringing through certain techniques, certain frequencies to help you. So you can choose to call upon them. We cannot guarantee that you are going to get a response, because when you call upon them, you have to show it's not about you. You would have needed to already have surrendered to God, surrendered to your mission, surrendered to your fate, in other words. Most individuals find that a difficult thing to do, because when you surrender to that, your life is no longer your life. You want it to be, and I'm not saying you don't have pleasures and interesting things happen, but if you are asked to do something, it's unlikely that you're going to wait to do it. You will have to put something aside to be able to do it. So you're not going to be asked, let's say, if you have small children that you need to care for, because your children come first. So that's what we mean by this. So an initiation will happen, if that is the case, over a period of time. It won't be one initiation. You're not dealing with beings that are used to interacting with the human consciousness. You're dealing with beings that have kept themselves not separate, but kept themselves in seclusion to be able to devote themselves in order to be here at this moment when it is most needed, so that they can be strong. They can be as pure as they can possibly be with the information and knowledge that they need to support. So they're not used to coming out of their environment. They are used to others going into their environment. They're very accepting. They will accept you in, but you need to go under their, we could say, laws. It's like moving to another country. At the moment on earth, if you go to another country, it seems you don't need to abide by those laws. You can literally change them to suit yourself, which is rather silly. Everything is all over the place. There are no real laws on earth anymore being played out. It's very barbaric. So the Hanani and the Harrari have come to help with the frequency for the threat of nuclear, the damage that comes from that, and the damage from this, EMFs, etc. And remember, we said to you last night that when it all goes bang, sort of thing, it will take a little while, and then someone will realize, if I turn it onto this frequency, it will work nicely. It won't work using the old frequency. And where do you think they'll get that information from? Who do you think will be working with them to give them that information, and will be able to harmonize the informational grid as effectively and productively as it can? Because you're talking about the entire world grid here. This is not something that, let's say, the human force can suddenly fix in 10 days. You have to have an outside force. And this is when the star seeds will be made present to you. But it's not an invasion. They're not going to suddenly turn up walking through your streets and telling you, do this, do that, oh, let's do this. No, they will do it gently. They will do it gently, and they will do it with those that are welcoming at first. So they will do it gently, and then eventually over years, you will have them, of course, walking around, interacting with you when they desire to. So this is going to happen. Absolutely, it's going to happen. But it's not an invasion. It's not a takeover, and they're not going to do everything for you. What they're going to do is stand back and suggest. They're going to give instructions, but you will have to do it yourselves. They're not going to come down in their ships and suddenly start working for human race to fix everything. No, they're going to instruct you, they're going to educate you, they're going to give you what you need to do it yourselves. So that's what we wanted to say also last night. That and if you hear anyone talking about these beings, we're going to say this to you. Wonder where they got that information from and why are they doing it. And you may notice, as we said, this has been around for a few months. No one's really been talking about it. No one's been talking about it because they didn't know. Our daughter created a video and spoke about it a little while back. Now some people do know. So they may start talking about it. But what we are saying is, for now, it's our daughter and 2 other people that they have chosen to work with, to speak through. And as far as we understand, that is it for now. We don't know what will happen in a few months, who will open up, what will go on, because obviously you need more than that to spread a message. But what we are suggesting is that because this information is out, people will jump on it. It's like they will start to all say the same story. When you feel excitement about listening to a story, ask yourself, is that my excitement or is it their excitement? How do I really feel about listening to this? So you have, through the crimes against humanity, called out in your desire to ask for help, to reach out, to change things. You have called out to the far reaches of the universe, and it has responded. And they are here. At this moment, they're not in great numbers from that area, but they were shocked, actually. When they reached the alliance, they were shocked at the full extent of the situation. So they have called on more. And they are very steadily surrounding the solar system and creating a sort of sound grid that will support the entire solar system. So what this is going to do, it's going to, and it's already started, it's going to push up that evil, that darkness, and that's what you're seeing. They can't hide anymore. It's completely out in the open. Everything is coming out. They're scrambling, trying to hide it, trying to say it's all lies, but it's not. They're causing distraction. The distraction of the Queen. Next will be the Pope. Financial distraction. This Mr. Trump distraction. Everything is distraction, distraction, distraction. What did we say to you at the beginning Trump was? We said, here's the great, sort of like disruption. He's going to disrupt everything. That's what he is. He tells it. He shares it. He speaks it. He doesn't care. He speaks it out loud. Creates disruption, uncertainty. So, do not get distracted and disrupted by everything that is coming up. Look at it with a clear mind, clear heart, and say, wow. And it will look scary for a period of time. And as we said last night, you may find yourselves withdrawing from the general public because you don't feel comfortable being in that vibration of all that distraction. If you can, disconnect from your internet phones. Don't take them with you. Go into nature without it. Practice leaving them at home or turning them off. Practice this. Practice being in your own mind, in your own body, without any influences. And you will grow rapidly. So, that's what we wanted to talk about. The Hanani and the Harrari. They are here now. And those of you that do our daughters' meditations and healings will know the difference. You've sensed the difference. Get as many people involved in these things as you can so that more people receive that healing. More people strengthen themselves. If they choose not to participate, they choose not to participate. It is all right. So then we will leave you in our love and our light and our truth and our blessings. We thank you for allowing us to give this added message to you this day. Goodbye.